So, US regulators are seeking to break up Google, forcing Chrome sale as part of monopoly punishment. It says punishment. I mean, it's just the law, really. It's not exactly a punishment, is it? It's more, hey, here is the law. We need to follow the law, I guess. It's amazing that AP are kind of framing this as a punishment type deal. Do you want to just quickly break down what this is all about?
Sure. Right now, they're starting, and with the Reuters article, which is a little more on point, they're actually forcing them to divest themselves of Chrome. They're forcing them to share all of their data and search results with rivals. In other words, they're going to eliminate what has been a capital-making business for Google. They were also going to force Google to stay out of the browser business for 5 years. And as an additional issue, they are going to force them possibly to remove Android. So Android will be split off into its own business. Now, mind you, this is just the beginning. This is only related to the lawsuit that they lost in antitrust just for search. This isn't even the ones that are coming down the pipe, which is going to involve all the other aspects of their company, including their ad platform, AdSense. This is just the start of what will likely happen to this company that holds a monopoly on all fronts. So
you know what? That's really bad because, well, YouTube is obviously part of Google.
Yep.
We get paid as part of YouTube.
Yep.
As part of Google.
Yep.
So that's actually quite bad. That's really bad.
Well, it means that they're going to have to cooperate with companies that'll be spun out from them that will be privately owned, managed, and no longer held by Alphabet, which is actually the parent company to Google and all of these pieces. So this is going to affect not just them; it's also going to affect Apple and many others. This is a rollback in cartels, which have been building for a long period of time. Big tech is made up of cartels, and Alphabet is one of them. Hence the reason that you have so many different products from Google. And mind you, Google's what do you call it? Their position from the very beginning. Their founding idea was don't be evil. Well, they stopped that thought process. So Android operating system right there, browser ownership right there. Keep going. Google search contracts; those will all be made available. That's
I mean this I think is fair, right? Google should be prohibited from making payments to third parties to make Google the default general search engine in their product, including ending exclusive agreements in which Google pays billions of dollars annually to Apple. There's no reason, like, if the product's good, it'll stand on its own, right? I mean, I think that's perfectly fair and reasonable. Like, Apple, if they wanted to use Google, they would use Google. They shouldn't have to be bought into it, right?
Well, look at this. They can't enter into agreements with publishers for exclusivity to the publisher's content. This is something that's happening right now, because they're trying to use AI to further leverage this. Google search preference, that should not be anything there. So
so that's just Google being just Google sort of redirecting to itself, basically.
And then data sharing.
Google would be required under the proposals to license search results to competitors at nominal cost and share data it gathers from users with competitors for free. It would be barred from collecting any user data that it cannot share due to privacy concerns. Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable. It should be doing that anyway.
And this is just the beginning, guys. This is only related to the search. So they're already breaking up the elements that they use for profitability. And again, if they shed Android, well, that changes the whole outlook for Android and Android phones and Android operating systems on devices that are not phones. So there's a lot going on. And this is just the beginning. This is all related to just the search. This doesn't have to do with any of the other antitrust suits that they're currently losing across the globe, including in the EU. So yeah, this is just the beginning. We have lots coming in the future.
Yeah, this is. I mean, again, my main concern is obviously this, because this is what This is how I make a living, basically, among other bits and pieces.
I
But
don't think it's gonna affect that as much as you think. I mean, the companies are
well,
still able
there's a
to.
lot of competition in the online video
Yeah.
hosting space, so thankfully, yeah. But the Google
Mhm.
ad system would affect it. Google AdSense would potentially affect it, wouldn't it? Really, but yeah, I don't know. Are you worried?
Me, no. No, I won't be
What?
worried until they get to the YouTube part. When they start to break YouTube off, that's when I'll start to
Mm,
pay attention. But see, we need to think about how we're monetized in the first place and whether or not there's fair compensation involved. Because
yeah, true.
I mean, if you look at how little networks uh, gain traffic, a show with less than 50,000 people watching at any one given time, and they're paying the host $8 or $9 million a year.
Yeah, no,
Um,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
So you need to look at how you're being compensated for your hard work. It certainly isn't in that same wheelhouse, is it?
No, well, I do wonder how much Google actually gets given as as part of these
Mm,
ad deals that they have. And it must be
mm,
staggeringly insane. But
mm.
yeah, wow, dear oh dear. There you go, ladies and gents. There you go, Google. Yeah, potentially being broken up. To be honest, DOJ breaking Google up, forcing Chrome sale. I don't think Google will care too much about Chrome going. Although I will say that will affect their branding, because obviously the Chromebook. I don't know what that means for the hardware stuff.
Well, I have to tell you that the Chromebook is a piece of junk. Um,
No, I know.
any,
But I'm just
yeah.
saying I don't know what it means for their hardware.
Well, Android will still be the operating software. Like I said,
Well, no, they might be selling Android.
that's my point. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have the software, Android software.
Mm,
You will be. It's just the way it is, the operating system. Again, I think Apple's going to suffer some backlash too. Like you said, the government does not like competition. The big tech cartels are competition to the government. I think Microsoft is going to get another spanking by antitrust folks. I think there's a lot coming in the very near future. And now that you're changing administrations, and the other administrations already talked about the power that's being wielded in a nefarious way.
mm,
I think you're this isn't going to slow down. If anything, I think if you're a global government, let's say that you're one on the globalist team, right, which is the purely evil side of things. But let's say you're one of those people. The last thing you want is a big tech cartel. What you would try to define as an oligarch to have sufficient power to like thwart your intentions.
mm.
So, yeah. So it's like I said, it's not good for anybody, including those that love to be a globalist governing body.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Bloody
Just a bigger
hell.
conversation.
It would be an interesting time. It'd be an interesting time. Well, there you go. No, I thought we'd update you on that. I mean, this is quite a big deal. It's quite a big deal. So yeah, we'll shuffle on from that now.